I should have listened. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, 2/3 of Israel, you're still going to be rulers. You're still going to be kings, but you're going to be at the bottom. You're going to see what you could have had. You know what I'm saying? The more that you could have had. You know what I'm saying? But you chose to settle less, to follow the ways of this world, and that's going to be in the back of your mind. And that's also going to be the reason why when it comes down to your slaves, you're going to be putting extra hell upon them. You know what I'm saying? Because you followed them and they got you destroyed. So it says back in 2nd Esdras 14 and 15, it says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. You know what I'm saying? It says, cast all your cares upon the Lord. It says, and haste thee to flee from these times. It says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. It says, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. So the people are going to increase in evil. So it's going to be a time of evil. In order for you to escape, you know what I'm saying, you got to come back to the Lord, because that's going to be the only protection. You try to look towards the army and stuff, hey, guess what? The army is going to slay a lot of you chicks, man. You know what I'm saying? Without question. You know, without hesitation and stuff. You know? You got Israelites that hate other Israelites, man. You know what I'm saying? Who seek for power, you know what I'm saying? Most of the women and stuff that's in the police force or going to high authority where they're able to carry a gun is because they got the problem with men. You know what I'm saying? You know, they got a problem with authority and stuff. They want to be above us. You know what I'm saying? It's so bad, but through her we all died. That's why we in this situation. Because of Eve. Eve wanted power just like Adam, you know what I'm saying? And got this beguiled, you know what I'm saying, through lust. Of being on equality with Adam instead of just being in a place and brought the whole world into turmoil, man. Even till this day, man. You know? So going back to 2nd Peter's, chapter 1, verse 4 again. It says, verse 5. It says, and besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue. It says to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and that means balance. It says into temperance patience. And it says in Luke 20 and 19, it says, in your patience possess ye your souls. Because the scripture says in Matthew 24, he that endures to the end, the same shall be saved. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that you're going to be going through trials. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're going to go through that spiritual fire. You know what I'm saying? But those who prevail to go through the spiritual fire, guess what? You're going to get saved on the first go round. You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear Yahweh Shai said, my good and faithful servant. You know what I'm saying? Instead of Yahweh Shai saying, I have not known thee. You know what I'm saying? You know? It says verse 7. Verse 6 again. It says to knowledge, temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness. It says, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity. You know what I'm saying? For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. It says, but he that lacketh these things is blind and cannot see afar off, and have forgotten that he was purged from his old sins. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail. So you won't fail, meaning that you won't lose, man. You know, that you're going to be written in the book of life, that you're going to be saved, you're going to be part of the elect. The 144,000 was consisted of 12,000 men, each of the 12 tribes of Israel, the government body. And the rest of the 1/3 was consist of men, women, and children who are Israelites who believe no matter how they look. You know what I'm saying? Like it says in Revelation, the 7th chapter, 12,000 men of each of the 12 tribes, and then the rest of the 1/3, which is the innumerable multitude, man. So this is Philippians. This is Philippians. This is Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. It says, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, meaning right now, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that word trembling in the Greek goes back to tremos, meaning that you scared as hell. Why? Because with us knowing that we don't have free will and that we can't save ourselves on a whim like we want to, hey, guess what? We got to have hope in the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? We're going to do this work. He already gave us the blueprint of what we got to do in order for us to get saved. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's what we put our faith in. That's what we put our hope in, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, hope that is not seen is hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For why a man hoping for what he seeth, man. You know? So we gonna do this work, man. So this is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1. It says, thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Yahushua Mashiach. And the one thing I want to make a point on is that when it comes down to grace, if you got a grace period, when it comes down to paying rent because you weren't on time, you know what I'm saying, they give you time to make that money so you can pay rent so you can still live underneath that house, right? But still have a roof over your head, right? You know what I'm saying? So in the time when it comes down to grace of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, hey, the grace period is that, hey, you got to get right. You know what I'm saying? You can't live however the fuck you want to live, man. You got to live according to the Lord. Because remember, all of Israel, we said that the Most High was going to be our God and we was going to be his servants. So what the servants do, they follow the instructions of the God, man. You know what I'm saying? So if the nation of Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, and Natives, you know what I'm saying? If you all are servants and are of the nation of Israel and you're servants to God, then that means that you got to follow what he's talking about, man. You know? But if you don't want to follow what he talked about, then there's no need for you. What happens when you got a job and you a boss and you got a employee and he ain't doing nothing that he's supposed to in the job? You get rid of his ass. You fire him, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going to happen to 2/3 of you Israelites because you're not doing what the Lord ordained for you to do. So therefore, he's going to fire you, but he's going to fire you with thermonuclear fire, man. You know? And it's going to be well deserved. You know? It says, verse 2, it says, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. You know what I'm saying? John 4:38. We have entered into other men's labors, man. Meaning that, hey, when you a proselyte, when you converted and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You pretty much a babe in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? You could be an old man, and it could be somebody that's younger than you, who got probably 2 or 3 years worth of the knowledge of the Lord and stuff and can teach you more. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because that's how the Lord has done it and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know? Fucking thieves, boy. You know? Oh, shit. Fucking thieves. So, you know, to teach others and stuff because, hey, like Elder Malcolm would say, he always say that, hey, even if we low rank, you know what I'm saying, if you not just a bishop or a captain, you know what I'm saying, or a deacon, you know what I'm saying, or a disciple or whatnot and stuff, no game bang, nothing, you know what I'm saying, because disciple is found in the scriptures, you know what I'm saying. The disciple is somebody who has discipline within the scriptures, right? That all of us, pretty soon, we're going to become leaders, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, even for those that's across the line, you know what I'm saying, who don't teach the scriptures yet, but yet they still learning, you know, coming to that point when they would cross the line, or even if you don't make it across the line, you're going to be building up in these scriptures that, hey, even if you still know some scriptures and stuff, you'll still have the ability to teach. But teach what you know, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to wing it and stuff, man. You know, like it says in John 1:20, man. You know what I'm saying? Or 2 John 1:20. You know what I'm saying? That you will find in the fountains both sweet and bitter waters. You know what I'm saying? Sweet waters is the truth. and the bitter waters are pretty much those who try to wing the truth, and they don't know exactly what they're talking about. They trying to wing it, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, they don't know for sure. So it says verse 3, it says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Mashiach. And that word soldier goes into solitaire, because even though you probably got brethren all across the world and stuff preaching this word, you know, y'all come together, you congregate, you're probably doing classes and going over breakdowns and making sure you're on point to build up your congregation and stuff. You know, the only thing is that you still in this walk on your own, man. Going back to the 2 Peter 1:10, man. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, man. Well, that's Philippians 2:12, man. You know, because you can only work out for your own, man. You know. And this is that fire. This is Ezekiel, that spiritual fire that we're going through, man. You know what I'm saying? You're working out your own salvation. This is Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 14. It says, though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, said the Lord power. You know what I'm saying? You know, so they're going to deliver their own souls by what they do, man. You know, the scripture says in 2nd Esdras, 7th chapter, and Apocrypha, it clearly goes into the fact that there's a road where only one man can go through it. You know what I'm saying? When you got fire and water on either side, man. You know, and that fire and water are pretty much distractions, things that Satan's going to use. You know what I'm saying? You know, to get you destroyed, man, to fall off your square. You know what I'm saying? It's like being on a tightrope, but with no net at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And you walk in a straight path. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't have another brother on this side. You can't have another brother on that side. It's just you. You know what I'm saying? So you fighting for your own salvation. You know, you fighting for your own works. You know what I'm saying? You know, like the scripture says that you'll be saved by your own works, man. You know, and by your own faith. You can't lean upon another person's faith. You know, you got to lean upon your own, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that fire and that water are what happens when you fall in the fire. You get burnt up. What happens when you fall into water? You drown. And both these things causes you to be put to death. You know, you'll die if you are engulfed in fire. You'll die if you're engulfed in water and you can't get up, man. You know what I'm saying? You know. So back in 2 Timothy 2 and 3, it says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Mashiach. It says, no man that warreth, men go to war, Galatians 5:16 and 17. It says, entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him whom he hath chosen to be a soldier. It says, and if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully. You know what I'm saying? The only ones who's going to get an upcoming crown and stuff that would never be removed, you know what I'm saying, are the elect. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they sitting up here fighting for the things pertaining to salvation. You know what I'm saying? Things of actual value. You know what I'm saying? Instead of for those who got the corruptible crown on this end, where their crown is going to be burnt up alive, man. You know? So this is back in the book, Sirach, chapter 2, starting at verse 5. It said, for gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. And all those scriptures we went through, you know what I'm saying, you know, brings adversity and stuff. But in order for us to be crowned, you know what I'm saying, there's even if you're a prince, you know what I'm saying, and your father's a king, you know what I'm saying, in order for you to be known as king and stuff, you got to go through everything that your father went through, in order for you to have that stature and the intelligence of being a king, man. So you have the ability to rule that land, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, so your land can be prosperous instead of the king running it down into the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so it's going to be times when things are going to be stressful. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be times that's going to be stressful. It's going to be times where you think that you ain't going to be able to get out this jam or that jam and whatnot and stuff, but you still got to push forth on. You still got to have that positive mind frame, you know what I'm saying, that, hey, if you with the Lord and he got your back, then guess what? You'll still be able to achieve what you're looking for, man. You know? It says, verse 6, it says, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. It says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside, lest ye fall. And that lest means that ye that not you fall, man. You know, you don't want to fall in temptation. You don't want to fall from the hope and the faith in the Lord, man. This is Sirach chapter 14, verse 2. It says, blessed is he whose conscience have not condemned him. It says, who is not fallen from his hope in the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So you blessed. You know what I'm saying? That you don't fall from your hope of the Lord, man. That you stay and lean upon the Lord even when you brought into a lower state, man. You know? It says, back in verse 7, it says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy. And go not aside lest ye fall. You know what I'm saying? And when you wait on his mercy, what tends to happen? It comes at the right time, man. It comes exactly at the right time. I remember back in times where I had to, when I was in situations where I had to pay rent and I didn't know where the money was going to come or that the time frame in order for me to get paid and stuff, or how much money it was, because you know they was clipping people's hours and stuff and being bogus. But I didn't know if I was going to be able to pay rent and stuff, and the Lord made a way for me to pay rent. You know. It's been situations when I thought that I was doomed and stuff, and yet the Lord still finds some type of avenue to wiggle my way out of there, man. To wiggle my way out of this trap, you know? And this is the ultimate escape. Now, lately, I've been seeing the word escape for the longest. And what's the ultimate escape? To escape from the damnation that comes to this place, man. You know what I'm saying? You know? So it's time to get right. First and foremost for myself, but it's time to get right, man. You know? Because without this word, there's no other way to get into the kingdom of heaven, man. You know, which will be upon earth. Verse 8, it says, ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. It says, ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. It said, look at the generations of old and see, did any ever trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? And he didn't despise nobody. He didn't despise Abraham. He didn't despise Isaac. He didn't despise Jacob. He didn't despise Yahushua. He didn't despise Jeremiah. He didn't despise Isaiah. You know what I'm saying? You know, the only one that actually got despised and stuff was Judas Iscariot, because he came against his son, his Yahushua and stuff, and betrayed his son, man. And the scripture says that it was better that this man was not born, man. You know? And guess what? You got a lot of 2/3 of Israel, even if you're not Judas Iscariot, you know what I'm saying? You're still going to follow through exactly what Judas Iscariot did. You know what I'm saying? You're going to seek out the prophets. You're going to know where they at, you know what I'm saying, and turn them in to the police. Turn them in so they can be in concentration camps and stuff. Because when they come out and call us domestic terrorists, domestic terrorists, you know what I'm saying? You people already know what we all been doing all this entire time. We've been prophesying this word, prophesying what's actually been going down, man. We've been men of the Lord and stuff that's been outside, in season, out season, when it's raining, snowing, cold as hell, hot as hell, you know what I'm saying, windy, preaching this word onto you, you know what I'm saying? And you know what we've been doing, but since they gonna give you a check, since they gonna persuade you with money, that's gonna be the reason where you're gonna wanna take the prophets down. And y'all gonna be no different than Judas Iscariot, man. You know, 2/3 of Israel are gonna be prophet killers, man. Why? Because they don't wanna hear what this word gotta say. And they don't want the things that we talk about to come to pass. Hey, if we stop talking about this word, hey, the prophecies will still come down. The prophecies will still come to pass. They will not fail. Verse 11, it says, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. So he's going to, amen. Right. He's gonna save in time of affliction, man, when the time cometh, man. You know, when you most need it, man. You know, because when it came down to Yahushua and Matthews, you got a question?
No, dude, we're pastoral studies majors, so we just like listening to you preach the word.
You said what?
we're glad to hear you preach the word. We're talking about the Bible.
You believe in the Bible?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe everybody can be saved?
Yes, sir.
Well, what if it say that otherwise?
It doesn't say otherwise.
Should I prove it?
What?
Should I prove it?
Yeah.
All right.
What is it? You guys back
I mean, what would you say your nationality would be?
What's that?
What would you, actually, you know what? Never mind on that. Google that is. 44. All right, so this word was for everybody, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is Sirach. Now, you ever heard of the Apocrypha?
Yeah, the Apocrypha.
Where they took 14 books out of the Bible and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Apocrypha means hidden. You know what I'm saying? They took this out. You know what I'm saying? The book of Baruch is actually Baruch, Jeremiah's scribe. You know what I'm saying? Wisdom of Solomon. And we know who Solomon is because he created the book of Proverbs and Ecclesiastes and also Psalms of Solomon as well, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's different books in here that show that it's still connected to the Bible. When it comes down to first and second Esdras, as you can see, you know, first Esdras, second Esdras, right? This is actually Ezra that's speaking, right? So I'm gonna prove this. This is Sirach or Ecclesiastes and Apocrypha, right? Chapter 44, and I'm gonna start at verse 17, right? It says, Noah was found perfect and righteous. In a time of wrath, he was taken in exchange for the world. It says, therefore was he left as a remnant unto the earth when the flood came. It says, an everlasting covenant was made with him that all flesh should perish no more by the flood. It says, Abraham was a great father of many people. You know what I'm saying? Because out of Abraham came the East Indians. Right.
Genesis chapter 13, yeah.
Right, but Ecclesiastes 4:16, it says there's no end of the people. Meaning that every nationality that's written in the Bible still exists till this day. And that's the actual people. You know what I'm saying? Right? So it says an everlasting covenant was made with him that all flesh should perish no more by the flood. Now, remember, Isaac, you know what I'm saying, was also the son of Abraham. Abraham had a covenant, you know what I'm saying, when it came down to Isaac, but then Isaac had two sons. Isaac had, Abraham had two sons. It was Isaac and Ishmael, but Ishmael didn't get the covenant. He still got blessed, but the covenant didn't go to him. We're going to keep reading. It says verse 19, it says, Abraham was a great father of many people, and glory was there none like unto him. It says, who kept the law of the Most High and was in covenant with him. He established a covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful. It says, therefore he assures him by an oath that he will bless the nations in his seed. Now, seed is plural. I mean, not plural, it's singular, right? You know what I'm saying? Because he had many seeds, right? But who was the only one who got the covenant? Isaac. And all the other nations that was created and stuff, Isaac was the only one who got the covenant, right? And it says he established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, I read that. It says, therefore he assured him by an oath that he will bless the nations in his seed, and that he will multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt his seed as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea, and from the river onto the upwards part of the land. Meaning that this nation, this one particular nation and stuff, is going to inherit everything on the earth. Meaning that they're going to be the new rulers, right? It says, with Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake the blessing of all men and the covenant. It says, and made it rest upon the head of Jacob, and Jacob's name is later turned to Israel, right? Which means he, prince of the power. It says he acknowledged him in his blessing and gave him an heritage, and it divided his portions among the 12 tribes that he partnered. So the covenant goes back to the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They're our forefathers. Jacob's name is changed to Israel. And the Hebrew, Israel means Joshua, prince of the power. You know what I'm saying? And the 12 patriarchs are the 12 tribes of Israel, Judah, Levi, Benjamin, Simeon. I believe that pretty much that the Lord is what you would call racist.
Really? So,
Yes.
so how do you contend with John 3:16, which says, "For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son"? The world contains many different people groups, every tongue, tribe, and nation. And when you look at the church as a whole today, you can see every people group represented in the body of Christ.
All right. So you know what a concordance is?
A concordance, yes.
All right. Well, when it comes down to concordance, right? The thing is this. When it comes down to it and stuff, did you ever go into that word world?
I'm sorry, what was
Did
that?
you ever go into that word world? Because it's the New Testament. So it's because the New Testament was written in Greek, Latin, right?
Yes.
Old Testament was written in
Hebrew.
Paleo, Hebrew, you know what I'm saying, Aramaic and whatnot, right? So with that being the case, right, when you go into that word world, in John 3:16, it goes back to cosmos, right? Which means the cosmos, K-O-S-M-O-S, cosmos, which means worldly arrangement or constitution. The word constitution goes back to what? It goes to law. Who was given the law?
Not necessarily.
Oh, yes, it does. You know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about the Bible, we're not talking about the Constitution of this world. But even when it comes down to the Constitution, even when it comes down to the Constitution of this world, you know what I'm saying, it still goes back to the laws of the land that was being established upon